Hey guys, welcome to a Cook's Day Off. We're starting at my favorite grocery store, Langley's Farmers Market. Selecting some beautiful produce, some Russian garlic, some onions. Gotta have butter, of course. Got some beautiful short ribs, and we're off to on the road. Some of my tools of the trade. Gotta wash the celery, and now we start with the beets. Just gonna cut the tops off onto a bed of salt. The way we're preparing it, I learned in my restaurant at Forage. Just gonna pop that in the oven at about 425 until tender. And then for the braise, I'm just cleaning up the celery here. The leaves will give a muddy taste if we cook it for too long. Excuse my knife skills. I'm just a little rusty these days. We're just gonna do a small dice here. Something that's gonna kind of disintegrate as we braise the beef. Now we're peeling some carrots. The way I was taught was you do half and then the other half. Gives you a nice handle to do it nice and fast. Another small dice for this also. Pretty quick, it's just a meal for me and my girlfriend, so doesn't need to be perfect here. And then the onion, also gonna cut the top of this, cut them in half and then peel them. And then I cut them pull to pull, and I use the heel of the knife to keep the onion nice and together. And for this part of the recipe, we're only using a quarter of the onion. I like to cut it on a kind of offset so I don't have to do those little cross cuts in the middle. Pop that in the bowl. I didn't mise en place any of this, so we're just freestyle, Beautiful, beautiful Angus short ribs. Just gonna salt and pepper these bad boys. Popping into a pot of oil, hot oil. We're gonna sear them off, brown them nice and good. Because I'm using a small pot here, I only do a few at a time. If we overcrowd the pan, we're just gonna end up steaming the meat. And after we pull the meat out, we're gonna do deglaze with the onions. And then we're gonna add the rest of the mirepoix right after. Keep that till it's nice and soft. And then we got some Bordeaux from France. It's got a nice body. My girlfriend doesn't like it, but I do. And here's her pretending to take a drink. And then we get some in there. We're gonna cook this until it's sec, which means almost dry. It has a nice syrupy consistency. And then we drop the meat back in. Get all the juices from the plate on there too, because that's such beautiful flavor. Gonna add some store-bought stock that I bought that I ended up cooking down just to give it more flavor. Here's the celeriac. It's not the prettiest looking thing right out the box. It is the root to the celery, but once we de-peel it, it's got a nice kind of off-white color. You can keep the skins, but I feel like brushing all that dirt off from the exterior is just a big pain, so I prefer to just peel it. So we are preparing this two ways, so I do cut this two ways. We're doing some bigger chunks for the puree. I could have gone smaller, but fuck it. And then we're doing a celeriac remoulade, so we're gonna cut this into really thin pieces. We're gonna make a julienne out of this, some nice matchsticks. Now we're just chopping. Checking the beets in the oven. Right there I got a cake tester, which is the best way to test anything like this. Test beets or potatoes, things that you need to see that are fork tender. You can just use a cake tester and you can test all the way through. Got some butter in the pan. We're gonna toss in our matchsticks here. We're just gonna cook this down, brown it, get it nice and wilted. Concentrate the flavors a little bit. So now we're gonna pop some rosemary and thyme into our braise. Because it's dry, we're gonna add it at the beginning of the cook because it takes a while for those flavors to release. Now we're gonna put that into a 300-degree oven. Nothing too hot. We're really just looking for some gelatinization inside. And here's me realizing I forgot to add the garlic in. Beautiful Russian garlic from earlier was not in our beautiful braise. So I'm just gonna real fast cut this. Just do a quick mince here. So I'm gonna start by doing sheets. It up some more, and then just to release the flavors, we're gonna saute it real quick in some oil. Quick, mix, and then boom, in. I would have definitely have added this right after adding the rest of the mirepoix, but you know. And here, we gotta clean as you go, because if you don't, you're gonna have a pile of dishes at the end, which just sucks. And the beets were ready, so I'm just gonna quickly peel them here, and I like to use a knife. If you want, when it's hotter, you can just wipe them off with a towel, but your towel will turn red, just so you know. Looks like I need some more wine here. I'll get some more later, don't worry. And some parsley, just to add some green to our remoulade. I'm just gonna chop this up just semi-rough, not too hard, not too soft, just right. Chop. And we quickly add that to our sweated off celeriac. I'm just gonna cube up the beets here. Nothing fancy, just some nice bite-sized pieces. Pop that in a tray because I didn't time any of this properly, so I'm gonna end up picking this back up in the oven just before we eat. Gotta feed the girlfriend always too. Next goes the mayonnaise, and I just put my cutting board away and forgot I needed to add the lemon, so here we are, adding the lemon. So this remoulade I learned also at Forage, a restaurant I was working at till recently, and it's tasty. It gives a nice acid. And for the puree, I'm just tossing some cream in with those bigger pieces, and I'm just gonna cook that till everything's nice and soft. I also added the cream because I realized the butter was burning, so I very much needed to stop that from happening. Butter's expensive these days. And it's cooked. All the celeriac is nice and tender, and we're gonna just toss it into my blender here. So I've added some milk just to give it a better texture, a little looser. And I'm gonna add the beets in here because I'm pretty sure the short rib is ready. Quick little check. It smells great, by the way. I wish you could smell the smell right now. Quick fork test tells me we're ready. Here I am spilling all over my white counter. These things happen, but just have paper towels on hand and you're good to go. Alright, so here we are plating. We got the puree going down first. Just real nice and quick. You drop some beets in. You know, sometimes people wonder, like, how do you plate so nice? Sometimes it just happens and it drops right out of your pan in a good spot. And you're like, ah, that's a good spot. And then in goes the short rib here. And I'm going to be quenelling here using 2 spoons just to give it a nice pretty shape because you have to. Pretty shapes are important. And boom, right on top. So we got some beautiful acid coming out of the remoulade salad and the beets, and yeah, dinner's ready. And thank you for joining us on Cook's Days Off. If you want, you can totally like and subscribe. And if you want to notify yourself on my next video, just click the bell. Ding!